Yo, hello, good evening. And JP here. We're waiting for Attorney Ahmed, but is coming. And ay birthday daw ba ngayon? Tama ba ako? Birthday ngayon ni Sir Adrian. Is it right, Adrian? Yeah. He did not respond kanina when I greeted him. So, may bago po ba? Anything new? Wala si Attorney Ahmed pa, hindi pa siya nakakarating. But yes, we will be discussing okay, he's trying to connect now for the last 20 minutes. What this is his problem, I do not know. No. Okay. I'll just tell him that we're live. Okay, we're live. What can I do for you? Okay, maybe he needs to reconnect. Don't use the. Okay, if you can see this. Okay, hi, good evening to Serena, Delzy, and Rain. Oh, Rain, hi, good evening. Aline and Jean. Wow. Serena. Bago to si Serena, no? Yeah, she's asking. Okay, ito si Medel. What is the question? May bago po ba? Okay, as we said, we are going to discuss tonight yung possible na remedies or alam mo yun, approach on how to deal with this attack, no, on freedom of speech. Now, the problem with that we see in this entire kumbaga, scanning that we are doing, no, it's not really a legal research. It's not really but we are trying to understand what's going on. And in doing so, we have uncovered a pattern which is not consistent with a personal vendetta type, but it appeared like an institutional attack, and that assessment was further reinforced. Oh, Maharlika, Banat Bay 2.0. Yep. I do not know, really. I do not follow that. No. Okay, so, and as we said, no, these kinds of rubbish communications running through the social media networks are actually giving more and more justification for players like Maria Ressa, players like the international organizations who are influenced by her. So nabibigyan ng dahilan para magkaroon ng hindi naman valid argument, not right, no? Not legal right, but a valid argument to allow the restriction of freedom of speech, which we are questioning because as we have seen in our own laws, this is not the intent of our legislators. The intent of our legislators as interpreted by the Supreme Court, has been very clear that in this country, we value the freedom of speech. But unfortunately, let me show you something. Okay. Unfortunately, what what the okay, let me just try if this will come out. All right, what is that? I do not know that. What are you? Oh wait, let me just change that for a while. Okay, what comes out is different, and in fact, they say okay, they say this. Uh huh. Is that showing up in your screen? No. Oh my god. Okay, wait. Let me just change that into. Oh my god. Ito talagang app na to. Nakakainis. Kala ko ba ang bilis-bilis gamitin? Okay, let me just remove you for a while. And then I'll add again. Tama ba? Okay, what I'm going to show you is okay. It's the assessment by another company now, by another assessing firm now, which we will use primarily in our analysis, no, of what to do. In fact, this group comes out with a very very sane and very very beautiful set of recommendations that are applicable to our particular situation right now. Okay, and let me just share this window. That one. But unfortunately, this group maintains that this is the situation in the Philippines right now. All right, can you read it? Sad, right? So for this reason, our rating by this particular group is also very low. Okay. In the Philippines, the offense of libel is often weaponized in an unyielding battle against free media. Multiple libel cases have been brought against online news outlet Rappler and its founder, Nobel Peace Prize laureate, laureate chicken Maria Ressa. On 20th June, the Duterte regime took its final shot at Rappler as the Securities and Exchange Commission issued an order to shutter the publication, which Ressa said the organization would appeal. All right. A lot of people reacted to this by saying, no, they're still there, right? You still see their website, right? I still see it. I even go there to search for what's new with them, but what new new ano tawag ito, issues they're coming up. So nandiyan na ba si Ahmed? I heard a ding. Where is it? There you are. Go ahead. Okay. Bit mo.
Magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat. Nakakainis tong connection natin dito.
Ha?
Sige, tuloy lang. Tuloy.
Okay, tuloy ko lang ha. Alright, now, this group also says this of our neighbors. Thailand, for example, they say that Thailand is the strictest less majeste law. Ano nga ba ito, attorney? Meron tayo nito dito sa Pilipinas eh. This is the publication against the state, no? Ano? Bawal? Ano ba to?
Publication against the state, scurrilous libels.
Yeah, I think this is one of them. Yung this was enacted during this was revived during martial law, and one of the first decrees by Marcos to be removed, or kumbaga tinapatan ng ni Cory ng kanyang executive order naman, repealing it. Now, exactly what is this? This is a form of scurrilous libel eh. And they're applying it daw in
yung anti-subversion law? Yung anti-subversion law, is that what you meant?
Yeah, but this is the verbal counterpart of that, no? Now, they also say about our Next neighbor here. Okay. Who's this? Okay. They're saying that in Southeast Asia, is it showing? In Southeast Asia, they have this slap cases, okay, including civil or criminal defamation, insult, libel, this lèse majesté, and criminal charges of insulting a country's monarchy. No, the GSR records an increase in the abuse of defamation and copyright laws over the last 10 years in Cambodia and Myanmar. So this is really going on. This kind of attack on the, or no, not attack, criticism, no, consistent criticism against governments, is really heightened, especially during COVID. Okay, so Maria Ressa is not alone, right? Now, the group or the organization which is responsible for this publication, okay, is actually the group that we will use. And who are they? This is who they are. Okay, the group is called Article 19. Okay, Article 19 is Article 19. It's kumbaga their inspiration is Article 19 of the Human Rights Declaration, which is the freedom of speech, no, na provision. Okay, it is an international human rights organization working on issues of freedom of expression and access to information. We work for a world where all people everywhere can freely express themselves and actively engage in public life without fear of discrimination. Okay. When I was giving out the examples of our own neighbors, were we aware that there was a problem also in Indonesia or Thailand?
Sa Thailand, alam ko, may problema dyan dahil since yung
Hindi ka pa dyan
martial law
basta
dyan.
Yeah, but that was a long time ago.
No, that was about... si Taksin.
Oh, that has been...
Siyang nagpasimula niyan.
Yes, but right now, did we know that in Thailand, there was an issue with their freedom of the press? No, right? We were not aware.
Wala.
We were not aware that there's an issue in Malaysia or in okay. Si Myanmar, we can presume na mayroong problema dyan because
Myanmar meron.
There's an ongoing military
mga Muslim.
And there's a change in government, okay? But even in Indonesia, in Malaysia, which they say in their reports is in a very, very dire situation, hindi natin alam, di ba? We would have no way of verifying it. Okay? Because we don't really care about our neighbor's situation. Tama? Therefore, these people also making these reports, the people making these reports or making these assessments would rely on people they trust to be giving them the information that they will need to make these reports, correct?
Yes.
And if these reports are provided by groups like Rappler, okay, because these people are based in London, these people are based in London, okay, but they have a very good set of regulations, and they call this regulating speech by contract, and this is actually a criticism. Okay, this was made in 2018 by Article 19.
Yan yung sinasabi kong example lang yan yung sinasabi kong corporate censorship.
Yes, but their approach here is like this, no? In this policy brief, they address the compliance of dominant social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, with international freedom of expression standards, and offer some practical recommendations as the steps that companies should take in order to demonstrate their commitment in protection of freedom of expression. While freedom of expression has generally enjoyed high levels of protection on social media platforms, they have increasingly had to address the human rights concerns of the various communities they seek to attract to their platform. Okay? Now, they're under constant pressure from governments to remove content deemed harmful or illegal under respective national laws. Is that the situation here in the Philippines? No.
No, we are not pressuring the social media staff from doing anything.
Government does not do that.
Baliktaran.
And yet
Kabaliktaran
our
na
score
nangyari
is
dito.
-9, -14 tayo for this year. -14. Right? Online censorship is
Kanino
therefore
nakikinig yan?
increasingly privatized. Yeah, and they do not even know that it is Maria Ressa who is also censoring the entire media. And this is what they recommend
Nobody is
to
saying that.
states.
Tayo lang. Tayo lang.
Huh? Okay, this is
Tayo
what
lang
they
ang
recommend to
nagsasabi
states.
na, mm, mm,
Okay, go ahead.
na there is corporate censorship in Facebook and other um, social media platforms. And it is brought about by Ressa and Vero Files. Tayo
At
lang
least here in
nagsasabi
the
niya.
Philippines. Huh?
Yeah.
Because we
Yeah.
established their legal relationship. Okay? And they are the only ones with a relationship. Then who else would be able to do that? Okay? So this is their
Mm.
first recommendation. Okay? Sabi, ganda, background nyo ngayon ah. Anong background namin? Sino yung sabi maganda? Oh, Delzy? Wala naman. Nag-shift lang
Kasi
ako
may
ng pakulo.
umiilaw-ilaw sa likod mo. May
May umiilaw-ilaw.
umiilaw-ilaw sa likod mo. O ano ba yan?
Ako?
O sa likod
Ba?
mo, yung, what's that? Yan umiilaw-ilaw.
May nakikita kayo sa likod ko? Baka naman baka naman may multo na dito. Sabihin niyo sa akin na pag may nagmumulto na sa akin. Okay, anyway. So sabi ng states should adopt laws that shield social media companies from liability for third-party content and refrain from adopting laws that would make them subject to broadcasting regulatory authorities or similar public authorities. So what does this first recommendation say? They recommend states to make a law that will not allow content, third-party content, and adopting social media to be
Liability.
made liable for
Liable.
third-party content and refrain from adopting laws that would make them subject to broadcasting regulatory authorities or similar public authorities. Okay. Who is this broadcasting regulatory authority? In our case, wala tayong
NTC.
ganyan because NTC only regulates the entry and the technical aspects of regulation. So, kumbaga, wag daw ipasok sa a group like a KBP.
Oh, or sa NTC.
Or
Or sa
NTC.
NTC.
Or any similar public authority. There should be a law made
Yes.
to ensure that social media is not made liable for the content that you, me, make. Okay? Why
That
is
is,
this?
that's probably not necessary kasi may constitution na tayo nagsasabing ganun eh.
Correct. Kumbaga yung pinag-usapan natin kagabi na cascading liabilities, first is the director and and this is the application kasi noon yung cascading liabilities na because of that legal framework where the author is the third in line or the second in line, the owner first, kayo ngayon, kayo itong una naming babanatan. Okay? So dapat, ang sinasabi nila, state should not be making any laws that will make social media platforms liable. Number 2, states should refrain from putting undue extra legal pressure on social media companies to remove content.
Well, we are not doing that.
Yeah, pero pinag-usapan natin, France did this, the EU does this.
Britain.
And Germany is doing it. Okay?
Mm.
And it seems like US wants to do it, but they want who's the owner again? Mark Zuckerberg to be policing it himself. Okay. Hindi, papagalitan siya. Okay. States should provide for a right to an effective remedy for violations of freedom of expression by social media companies. Ito ang gusto natin mangyari, oh.
Exactly.
Pwede ba ito under of the Office of the Press Secretary?
Kailangan may batas.
States should provide for a right. This is a recommendation, huh?
Yes. Mm.
By the very company which says that we are repressed. Because we are repressing. Okay? Now, on the social media side, this is the recommendation. Companies should ensure that their terms of service are sufficiently clear, accessible, and in line with international standards on freedom of expression and privacy. They should also provide more detailed examples or case studies of the way in which their community standards are applied in practice. Does Facebook do this? No. No. It's very very legalistic. Sino sa inyo diyan ang nakabasa ng Facebook terms of reference? Matalinong gabi, neko tutu. Sino sa inyo nakapagbasa ng terms of reference or community standards ng Facebook?
Community standards, nabasa ko yan. Nakakainis dahil napakalabo.
Yeah, but them, di ba?
Yeah.
Ang sabi sa recommendation is should
Clear.
ensure that the terms of reference are sufficiently clear, accessible, and in line with international standards on freedom of expression.
Yep.
Okay? And when they say international standards, that means the UN standards of Article 19. Na-flash na ba natin yung Article 19 last time? No? We did, right? And what? Okay. Iba siya nga napagkasabi eh. Nalagay na natin dito yung Article 19 of the Human Rights,
Hindi pa. Pero it's basically the same as our law.
Yes. And it's freedom of expression niya, no? And then, companies should be more transparent about their decision-making process.
Yan yung
including the tools they use to moderate content, such algorithms. And the trusted flagger screams. And sino to? Ito, we really had to spend so many nights, no?
Yan.
Who is doing the fact-checking, and then we find out with certainty that, because of this connection with this, with pointer adapts Rappler now is the first, and then sunod si verifies, and wala pang sumusunod, kaya ito naka-training si Star, sila lahat.
Yes.
Was there a declaration made, alam mo yun, you are being censored by Rappler? Wala. Dapat merong ganyan daw.
Dapat merong sinasabi na you had been pero meron naman yata lumalabas na Rappler fact-checked you.
Oh no.
Diba? Or Verifiles fact-checked you. Wala ba? Meron eh.
Okay. Rappler has a very funny article on that. They say na, Rappler is being blamed for people getting flagged by fake news, ganon.
Sa Facebook.
Hindi daw sila may gawa niyan, pre. All they do daw is report. All they do daw is report. And then if Facebook will kumbaga, if the algorithm will
flag you,
your account,
you,
or alam mo yun, suspend you, or bahala na siya doon. Hindi kami yun. Maglagay lang.
Hugas kamay.
Hindi kayo. Okay? Ayos. Alright. So, with this recommendation, let's dig a little bit deeper, konti lang. Ano ba yung nito? Outline nito. Let me see, you can go check it out for a while.
Hindi ko mahanap tong pinadala mo sa akin sa Luciferin eh.
Bakit?
Email lang, email.
Inbox.
Oo nga, hindi ko mahanap eh. Sige, nahanap ko. Wala eh. Sa spam siguro.
Ito muna. Okay. Companies should ensure that sanctions for non-compliance with their terms of service are proportionate. Di ba?
Pag nagsabi ka lang na women are weird, suspended ka ng 30 days. Galing. Galing.
Okay. And then you do not have any way of complaining. And this is their next recommendation. Companies should put place internal complaints mechanism, including the wrongful removal of content or other restrictions on their users' freedom of expression.
What does Facebook say every time it suspends you or restricts you?
Not just a
line. Sa'yo na we may have we may be in shortage of people to review your whatever, di ba? Your appeal because of the pandemic bullshit. Nakabwisit.
Me, I'm still being restricted for the last 8 months na pala. No. The last 6 months. 6 months. And I keep on pressing that yung option to have it reviewed and wala nangyayari.
Walang reaction. Oh, tama,
Yeah.
totoo yan. Kami rin, ganun din.
Okay, so companies should collaborate with other stakeholders to develop new independent self-regulatory mechanisms. Huwag yung puro si
Tayo na
Rappler
yon.
lang. Huwag yung puro si Rappler lang. Di
Tayo na
ba?
lang gumawa niyan.
Companies should resist government and court orders in breach of international standards on freedom of expression or privacy. Why are they saying this? Because it is more expedient for Mark Z daw to just pay fines rather than resist governments in
Oo.
cases na ano. So nag sila nagkikipag-settlement na lang sila instead of fighting it out. And they are recommending na no, fight it because as we discussed yesterday, no, itong Digital Services Act ng EU and that German law which took effect already. And then there are other laws in Europe which are being legislated. They are their transfer of liability to the okay. The first recommendation is this no, because there are now states like in EU which have adopted the reverse of this one, no? A law that actually punishes social media, making them liable for the hate speech that was found in their platform. Okay? Rather than yung tao yung gawing ano, ikaw muna ba? Yes!
That's right. Ganun na nga yung ginagawa. Sa Europe, sa England, merong isang kaso na ganyan, but hindi naman siya ang sinisisi. Kasi may nagrereklamo na hindi niya pa rin tinatanggal. And that was, I think, I justified the, tawag dito, uh, interference by the court. Kasi hindi naman hindi naman na-agrabyado yung private person doon or the company at the Facebook. Kasi sobrang harsh na rin siya eh. Harsh siya sa ibang bagay when Facebook restricts people, but when it's the people, the victims of defamation are the ones asking Facebook to help out, it just refuses to do so or very slow to do it. Kaya buti na rin yan, pare. Dapat gawin na rin natin yan dito sa Pilipinas. Ba't wala kang boses?
Good lang. Unmute lang. Okay, I just
Yan.
make an example. A current example at that. Okay? And I think this is not okay. Let's not think for a moment that we are friends with Trixie. But let's just use the example that happened in when was this? In relation to that incident with Chow Chow. There was
Yeah. Did
there
you
was,
know that Chow Chow's father is dead?
why? Because
He
of
was
this?
assassinated today.
What?
Yeah. His father was assassinated today in Basilan.
In Basilan. Oh
Yes.
Okay, let's not delve there. Okay, now
Yeah.
in that
Right.
on that day there was supposedly or there is allegedly an editor in PTV4 who tweeted nagbarilan na ata yung mga DDS at Dilawan sa Ateneo. Okay? And
Yan
for that,
nasabi.
and for that, okay, Attorney Trixie ordered an investigation for his politicized comment. So now, applying this, okay, assuming we're not friends with Trixie, okay, and we are not really interfering with her investigation on this one. You did not even know about it. I just read this, and then we don't talk about it. Okay, now we're just talking about this now for the sake of academic discussion, di ba? Now, if we
What's
apply
that?
this,
Parang may plastic na maingay. Ano yan? Is that you? Alright.
okay, so
Tapusin mo muna yung plastic na yan.
okay,
Kasi hindi ka marinig ng mga tao.
all right.
Yan.
Now,
Yan.
assuming we are applying these rules here, that person's tweet, which I saw, may kopya na naka-post dyan sa isa sa mga newspapers. I think it was the Philippine Star. Na ang sabi nila
Mm.
na the account has been deleted, but there are screenshots and this is it. Dinilit na nga ng tao, nilabas mo pa, no?
No, okay lang
Diba?
yan. Pucha,
No,
okay lang.
yeah,
Let's see it.
but yeah, there was really nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
Yun lang yung sinabi niya. Nagbarila na ata yung mga Dilawan at DDS sa atin na yun. Now, this person, since a barrage of complaints went to the office of the secretary, went to the office of the PTV4, was forced to shut down his social media accounts. And he's now being investigated. Isn't that alam mo yun, yung crowd mismo na nag-drive ng mga regulators like the bosses, the entities who are being asked to sanction a person for his comment, which is political in nature, yes.
But he had the freedom to say it.
Precisely.
Yeah. Okay, ito. My understanding is that nagtatrabaho sa PTV4. PTV4 nagtatrabaho yon.
An editor daw.
Editor, okay. Ang conceptual framework dyan is like this. PTV4 is a GOCC. It has its own charter and it has its own board of directors. It has its own discipline, code of discipline.
Yeah.
Okay? But it is, since it is government agency, it's a government broadcast agency, it is still under the supervision and control of the Secretary of the Press. So that when it happened and the Secretary said investigated, that was to go into the facts as to what
certain
what
whether he has a liability, di ba?
Oh, it doesn't mean that he has a liability because
Yes.
the investigation could also free him from liability when it is found that it was just a private in his private capacity to say.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. But what I am saying here is the clamor, no? The clamor shows the amount of confusion that the people, no? The people of the Republic of the Philippines are commonly alam mo yun, associated with, and this is how we started this whole argument, di ba? Or this whole series of topics.
This is series of discussions. Yeah.
Nagsimula to kay Clarita Carlos na gustong patahimikin.
Kay Clarita Carlos. That's
diba?
right.
People feel so, alam mo yun, so godly na feeling nila, pwede nilang patahimikin ng kahit sino, asking an institution to shut him up.
Oh. Ginawa din naman sa amin yan ni ng Facebook when we were attacked by this Orion Perez guy about his really wrong interpretation of the Constitution. Pinaano niya ako, pina-atake niya kami sa mga followers niya and then reported us to Facebook.
And then?
Because of that. Because his ego is hurt siguro.
And then,
yun ang sinasabi ko. Just because of a person's ego is hurt like some Mungo woman, i-report ka sa Facebook. And now, suddenly, because of some bunch of group of people that are idiots who cannot understand the Constitution, you are punished by Facebook. And by punished, meaning your rights or your freedom of speech or expression or publication is violated.
Yes.
See? And that's how Filipinos see it.
And then when it comes your turn now, na ikaw na yung patatahimikin, magagalit ka. You see the difference here, no? Sabi natin, di ba, when we started assessing Maria Ressa, we will assess her based on the philosophy of Kant, no?
Immanuel Kant.
When we said, not Maria Ressa, but when we say we will try to assess fact-checking and we'll use their own rules against them, di ba? Because that is the rule of Kant. Now, if you want to impose a set of moral standards on someone, it must be imposable to you. Tama? Now,
Tama, that's right.
Okay? So, in a sense, we have been talking here about freedom of speech. complaining about our rights being throttled, your account being suspended, okay? Really suspended right now, okay?
Right now.
Mine throttled, Luminous throttled, okay? And the reason there is because there are states who have adopted laws that actually punished social media companies and giving them now the economic incentive or
Incentive, yeah.
the reason to actually hire a Maria Ressa to penalize people like you and me. Okay? Now, why does it, how does a Maria Ressa do it? Okay. Now, it will fall, okay. And in the same manner, no, institutions like sila Trixie, no, as bosses of certain people who are in the field of communication, because this is not her as a press secretary, but as the boss of the boss, di ba?
Oh,
Receiving complaints, they're forced to react and actually
yes.
give way because the Filipinos do not understand the freedom of the press or the freedom of speech is actually supposed to support each and every one of us equally,
Yep.
di ba? So they
So
are
that, so
forced.
that, so that,
Oh,
dapat merong shield, may protection against the coercion by public clamor. Itong mga taong ito si
this
Presidente Marcos, ito si
yes,
Secretary Angeles,
that is
dapat
what
may
they are
protection sila
recommending
from
here.
these people who are clamoring. Di
That
ba?
is what they're asking here. Na para matigil yan, you make a law that will say you cannot touch that. That's it. That's free space. Okay?
Yeah.
Well, whether that's sane or not, or whether our congressmen or what will listen to this, that is a
I,
matter of debate. And we hope you, you people who are here, kasi sana dumami kayo, will get to
participate in that
understand
debate.
because I'm sure in this Congress, ano ngayon, 19th? 19th?
19th, yeah.
In this 19th Congress, there will be a law passed. There will be a bill passed on this if is not one passed or alam mo yun, submitted yet
Already.
already.
Yeah.
Because this is in
Well,
their
I
game
think,
plan, they wrote this down.
yes, I think that this is just my opinion that there is probably no need, and there will be an opposition to that move because sasabihin ng Supreme Court when it is brought over to the Supreme Court for
Mm.
review kung
Mm.
valid itong batas na to. Ang suspicion ko sabihin hindi ko pinapangunahan ng Supreme Court, but it's more likely that the Constitution parang volunteers the government or the state, it volunteers for the state, okay, in lieu of the state, that it will not make any laws that will either stop something or coerce something to be done in the field of freedom of speech, expression, and publication. So parang tipong huwag nyo na kasing kalawin yan. Kung may problema, dalhin nyo sa korte and the court will interpret the Constitution and whatever relevant laws
And
about
yun
what's
yung
going on. Diba?
ibang page
But that
ito.
is
Ano
just my
yung
opinion.
ano yung sinasabi na ibang page ito? No, we're still here in the about the state adopting a law that will
Hello,
shield the media companies, and we're talking
okay.
about the reverse also because
It is
we read,
important in
what
the
we read,
in this discussion tonight. See that these recommendations speak uh,
on the
speak of making or not making laws.
Mm-mm.
And remember that our Constitution says no law shall be passed abridging the freedom of speech, um, expression, and publication. Okay, so this is also talking about passing or not passing a law. So swak na swak ang problema dito in this discussion na how are we supposed to work? How is our legislature supposed to work in relation to these recommendations and the constitutional provision on that
Okay.
freedom?
And the importance of you listening is you understand, and we will be more conversant, so that when this what is in the game plan kasi that we read from Rappler's papers is that they are going to lobby for a law that will punish social media companies. Yung kabaliktaran ha, ito is shield. The recommendation is shield, but their game plan is to force social media companies to remove, okay, ang sinasabi dito is yung mga content, ha? Yung mga content na yan na ayaw nila, yung hate speech, yung, okay, we will get there. In fact, I can go there now, alright?
Go there now.
Yeah, we'll go there now para hindi tayo stuck, no? Okay. There. That's the one. Is it already in your screen? Hindi pa.
It is already up. It
Okay.
is already up.
Yeah. Those are the kind of speech that they do not want to be in the social media. Okay? Namnamin nyo muna.
Fake news. Yan ang kaduda-duda dyan eh.
Fake news. Okay. Hate speech. Okay? Yung isang report na binasa natin, no, which was done by Cambridge. Also last year, Cambridge did a verification on the hate speech that was flagged down in Denmark. In Denmark, okay? They reviewed 66 million hate speech violations.
Posts, mga comments.
Posts with hate speech, 66 million. And then
alleged hate speech.
Okay, out of that 66 million which were tagged, ang natanggal from the
platform, from being posted.
Yung ang tawag nila diyan, yung process of being flagged down, hindi lang flagged down eh. Yung talagang tinanggal talaga. Okay?
Unpublished.
Unpublished, okay? Was about 15,000 out of 66 million. Okay? So 66 million with possible kasi computer yung gumagawa nung unang assessment. And then computer rin yung nag-drill down. 15,000 were taken out of the platform. Kumbaga removed from circulation.
Yeah, unpublished. And
then out of this 15,000, they made a manual human check by lawyers. Is this hate speech kumbaga going to
actually
be flagged out? Like in court, will this stand in court or kung may kaso ba to? And you know what percentage of the 15,000 was actually adjudged to be real hate speech? 0.066%. 1 in something thousands. So whatever is 0.066%, yun lang yung tunay na hate speech. So they removed from circulation 15,000 posts, 15,000 pieces of freedom. 15,000 freedoms. With an error rate of 99.3%. Wow!
Grabe, no?
Yun yung error rate, 99.3%. And that is in Denmark, okay? About terrorism. What does it say about terrorism? Ito, isa contentious subject also. Why? Because yung terrorism na content, it can range from di ba? From the political to the
from prayer to Allah, from prayer to Satan, from prayer to God, di ba?
So how do you make a computer do that?
Exactly.
The algorithm. Okay, good evening, Ana. Lagyan natin si Ana dito para meron tayong inspiration.
Good evening, Eugene and Al-Miracle.
Tao ba yun o anime? Avatar. How about you, Ana?
Si Rocky, nag-I love you sa'yo, brother.
Ito si Rocky. Yay.
I love you sa'yo.
Hi. Ayaw nila hate speech o sige, I love you. Di ba? Yan ang tama.
Style nito. Dinaan pa sa ganun eh. Pwede mo namang i-message si kung Uncle JP eh.
Hindi. Publication to, pare. This is a public. Publish to eh. Okay? So, di ba? How do you distinguish between actual just simple conversation and terrorism and extremism?
Exactly, di ba? Or yung halimbawa parang expression of anger and frustration, 'di ba?
Yes.
Na
Ah.
mayroon kasing mga religious people na sana Diyos ko, tulugan mo kami, strike down these people because they did this to our people, ganyan-ganyan, or they killed my son, ganyan-ganyan.
Yan.
And that sounds like
No, terrorism.
extremist terrorism rhetoric. And
Oh.
then you're taken down when you're just really sad because your family member died and was a victim of violence.
Like
It's
hate
crazy.
speech again, Hate speech again. Why am I being flagged for hate speech? Because I was actually talking back to, alam mo yun, talking out of frustration dun sa hate speech na ginawa ni Isko Moreno. And then,
Mm-hmm.
I used the word that he used, pero naka-quote-unquote.
Oh,
Sabi ko, chekwa pala ha. Parang ganun yung
oh,
segment.
oh.
O dahil nasabi ko yung
Tapos ikaw
chekwa,
yung ikaw na
hate speech
restrict.
ako. Hate speech ako.
Exactly. It's ridiculous. It's to it's a twofold weakness eh. First is the substantive weakness, which is it's really hard to define and classify which speech is terrorist or extremist or hate speech.
Oo.
Second, it is really hard to know when the person is actually saying something that is content wise already is going to be said by hateful people. Yung
Mm.
content wise, it's like a hate speech, but when it is said not in such a manner as a bigot would say those things, di ba? Like
Mm.
quoting it or restating it or describing it
Mm.
or saying that this or including it in a title, for example, of your video discussion. So that is the procedural or the procedural problem there, and the substantive problem is also very serious because you really don't know when something is hate speech by just looking at some fucking posts.
Mm. Oh yeah, just because you use the word fucking, then now
Oh.
it falls into the hate speech flag.
Privacy or
Ano na?
morality based restriction.
But in my case, if it was just a robot looking for the words that are prohibited to be used, then it would have been flagged right then and there. Right?
Mm.
As soon as I put it up, maybe the worst will be 2 days. It would have been
Pero
flagged.
hindi nangyari.
No, it was posted
Kasi
in November.
tao.
It was posted in November and I was flagged in February. How slow is that?
Tao.
But, di ba? And then, now, no
Tao.
matter how hard I try to contest no one answers. And it has been, the cause of the restriction of my circulation for the past 6 months.
That is how insane this thing Facebook is doing.
Mm.
May impunity eh. May impunity siya eh.
Because there is no transparency. Di ba? Yung sinasabi nila, there must be transparency, there must be a clear way of contesting the findings. Okay, sabi nila dito about hate speech, no? Hate speech, according to Facebook, is a direct attack on people based on what we call protected characteristics, race, ethnicity, national origin, religious affiliation, sexual orientation, sex, gender, dun ka ata eh, gender identity, and serious disability or disease. Some protections are provided for immigration status. Okay? So according to the community standards related to hate speech, Facebook interprets hate speech as violent speech as including support for death, disease, or harm. Okay?
Is it okay?
Bawal daw yun, ha? Dehumanizing
Oh.
speech as including reference or comparison with filth, bacteria, disease, or feces, reference or comparison to subhumanity, reference or comparison with animals that are culturally perceived as physically or intellectually inferior. Buti na lang munggo yung ginamit mo kasi walang nakalagay dito plants.
Vegetables.
Vegetables.
Food.
It's not eh. Tignan natin dito. Statements of inferiority as including a statement or term implying a person's or group's physical, mental, or moral deficiency. Statements of contempt, expression of disgust, or cursing at people who share a protected characteristic. Content that
Protected
describes
characteristic.
content that describes or negatively targets people with slur is also not allowed. Now, ang
How
sabi
is that slur?
yun na nga. So this is now the criticism. Ha? In particular, it lays down more criteria for content restrictions than before. Sabi niya.
Exactly.
Okay. However, these criteria are still far broader than those permitted under international laws. Ha? Ha?
Okay.
For instance, attack is broadly defined as encompassing violent speech, dehumanizing statements or statements of inferiority without making any reference to either the intent of the speaker or
Yep.
incite others to take action or
Yep.
likelihood of a specific type of harm occurring as a result of hate speech, then you have an issue. You
Yep.
see?
Yep.
Because they just defined the speech without really putting any
Anything
mind
else?
as to the intent of the person making that speech
Circumstances. Other
or the
circumstances.
or the result. And that is a requirement for libel and cyber libel.
Hmm.
Okay? And Maria Ressa knows that it has to be
Example.
established.
Example. If you say women are from Venus and men are from Mars, that is of hate speech
Oh.
under these rules.
Oh, ang sabi dito, although Facebook
That's it.
understandably is making just meant to create a safe environment for its users. It effectively sets a very low bar for free expression. Okay, so this is the argument against these rules on hate speech by Facebook. So they find that this definition is incredibly broad, okay, and could arguably include some political parties. Okay, this one is also part of ito, and I think this is one way they're attacking our groups here because they are associating us with Rodrigo Duterte, who is as Maria Ressa describes in A Thousand Cuts, a genocidal president. Okay, then listen to this. The community standards further state that Facebook does not allow any organization or individuals that are engaged in organized hate on its platform. Hate organizations, quote unquote, are defined as any association of three or more people. We have tens and tens of thousands. That is organized under a name. We are not. Or we have a name. We have a platform, the Luminous group, okay? And her name. Sign or symbol. Meron tayong mga logo. And which has an ideology, a statement, or physical actions that attack individuals based on characteristics including race, religious affiliation, nationality, ethnicity, gender, sex, sexual orientation, serious disease or disability. Right? They find that this definition is incredibly broad and could actually include some political parties, though the threshold that would need to be reached for such organizations to be banned remains unclear. The term attack remains unclear and there is no mention of intent of harm and of course, yung actual harm. Now, dito tayo magfo-fall talaga. Content that praise any of the above organization or individuals. Yung sinasabi mo about yung kay Chow Chow Chua.
If
Diba?
you comment on something like that, aatakihin ka kahit na what is wrong with what I said anyway.
Yun
Diba?
What you said is don't praise him, tama? Don't praise him or don't
not
praise
do
the
that. Don't congratulate because
they're praising him.
It's confusing to everyone.
Kaya nga,
It confuses the investigator because ano ba itong mga taong to? Baka maimbestigahan natin to. Bakit kinocongratulate? Maybe this person knows the plan beforehand.
In fact, this is
And
the
that's
prohibition.
why he congratulates.
This is the
Diba?
prohibition. Content that praises any of the above organizations or individuals or any acts committed by some organizations or individuals and on coordination of support for any of the above organizations or individuals or any acts committed by the above organizations or individuals na may kinalaman sa violence.
Exactly.
Okay?
Ang post ko doon is saying that
Don't do that.
congratulations there is going to confuse people. Why? Because first, either you will be understood to have known the plan before he did it, and now that he actually did it, you congratulate him.
Okay.
That is how it happens. Or
And then
uh, di ba? Or you are really just trying to bungle the entire investigation.
How
So
about,
in either way,
oh,
mali yung ginagawa na ganyan. So
saan
there's
yun?
nothing wrong with what I said, with what I
Yeah,
posted.
actually what
And
you
this
posted is consistent with the rules.
exactly.
Uh,
And why is this vegetable attacking us? Hi, Maria
okay.
Ligaya. Hi.
How about this? My college group is now active in Viber. I think this new site will be emerging soon and FB will soon become history like Friendster. Meron po ba? Meron pa ba? Viber
What
is
is
very
it?
old. They're now in Viber na daw. Many transferred. Okay, okay, you were in Viber and then it's now in Facebook. Okay, this is my no, my assessment for Facebook. Facebook, I think, is a transitory thing. This will not last a long time.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but the social media approach or the platform will
Phenomenon
uh,
is going to stay.
it will continue and become even stronger. Okay,
Di ba
now,
kaya nga ginawa niyang Meta yung kanyang Facebook company?
mm,
Because in the future, meron ng VR, meron ng experience, whatever na sinasabi ni Zuckerberg, that is way beyond text and photos and videos like Facebook
oo.
now.
Now,
Yeah.
but this is the more dangerous part because yun na nga, related again to political the political anong tawag
Teka,
dyan?
teka,
Yung
ito
naming.
nakakabwisit na to si Berlin Rose. Kanina pa to eh.
Ano
Hindi
sabi?
nga, yung sinasabihan ko ng huwag mag-congratulate ay hindi nga si Maharlika because I never really saw her
Okay.
name there. But if you look at
Okay.
that wall, ang dami-daming nagsasabi ng congratulations doon. That's what I was talking about.
In
Stop
fact,
insisting that she congratulated so early because I'm not talking about her.
hindi, teka lang.
Okay?
Okay. So, let them be.
Nagme-message pa to sa akin sa Messenger eh. Ito si Berlin Ross na nakakabwisit na
Oh,
pangirit niya eh.
yan yung hate
Hmm.
speech. Okay? And the
Sige.
prohibition here is dangerous individuals and organizations provide for no exceptions. Okay? However, the hate speech section explains that sharing content containing hate speech for the purpose of raising awareness and educating others is allowed, although users are expected to make their intent in this regard very clear. So, dapat pala ang ginawa ko, Isko Moreno, pangangaralan kita. Or like in your reaction, you should have said, Berlin Rose, pangangaralan kita. They should be very clear daw eh. And the content or the content will be removed. Humor and social commentary are also allowed, but while these expressions are welcome, they're unduly limited. In particular, the requirement that users make explicit their intent to educate others sets a high threshold for the exception to apply. So you
Well,
see, your
some
statement,
people won't be some people refuse to be educated unless there's something that hurts them.
kaya nga,
Uh,
and
'Di ba?
Facebook requires you to first say, pangangaralan kita ha. I'm saying this because pangangaralan kita. For you to be
Yun yata
excused
yung
from,
yun yata yung ginawa ni let me educate you. 'Di ba yung
yeah.
ginawa ng mga dilaw?
So it seems unrealistic and unlikely that users will state their intent explicitly whenever they comment or joke about an issue. Di ba? Like, di ba? Ito, So, how can you make a person like Berlin Rose stop buggering us? Okay?
No, I
Okay?
can't. I can't. I just
Okay, you
really
can.
I can
No.
only just say what I want to say and she continues saying what she wants to
Yes.
say. Ganun lang
Because,
yun.
because,
Because we
because
are all free to speak and to
we are all free to
express.
speak. And actually, we are all free to troll. Di ba?
Yeah,
To force you to making a comment
exactly.
that they can use against you.
Mm,
Okay?
mm.
That is actually how it is done. Di ba? Trolling is
Trolling.
done that
Yeah.
way. And that is,
Yeah.
kumbaga, that is a part of the freedom of communication. No? If you can make someone fight you back, then you win. Right? Like Maria
That's
Ressa,
only no. That
she's been
only works.
she's
That
been
only.
taunting.
Sige.
Oh, Maria Ressa, she's been
Taunting the president.
taunting the president. Kumbaga parang, sige, birahin mo ako. Okay?
Hmm.
But, okay, how does that win? It wins when you get injured, when you get hurt. Parang yung kapitbahay ko dito.
Hmm.
Maglalagay siya ng basura sa harapan ng bahay namin. Tapos pag sinugod ko siya, sisigaw siya, mga kaibigan, sinusugod ako. Di ba? Pero siya yung naglagay ng basura dun sa harapan. Okay? So, there are people like that. Okay?
Sino ba yan kay kapitbahay nyo?
Kapitbahay ko, hindi, may tililing talaga.
Daan ako bukas dyan.
Oh, pero, di ba? Yung sinabi ko na may tililing. Now, it's hate speech. But I'm not referring to anyone, actually. No? Di ba? Wait. There is a material here. Okay, I will open something. Which is...
Teka, inom muna akong gamot.
Inom ka lang ng gamot. Now,
yeah, oras ko. Yeah.
I want to get these things settled once and for all. You need to see this. You need to see this, guys. Are you seeing it now? Let me see if it's out there. No, it's not there. Up. What is there? Ito ba? Lalabas? Hindi. Lumabas ba hindi? Wala. Oh my God. Sorry about that. Let me just do it again. This one I will close. And then this one I will change. Wait, where are you? Ayaw. Can I open something? Open. Wala. Ay, nako. Kakainis. But, okay. I wanted to show you the full, if you've seen my post, the full Rappler, the full copy of Rappler's SEC registration. Okay? Have you seen it yourselves? Yung Rappler registration in the SEC na nagsasabi kung ano yung kanilang line of business. And the whole world is actually in revolution and in revolt against the Philippine government, against the SEC for its draconian methodology. It's very unfair and very, very harsh violation of human rights for ordering the closure of the online paper called Rappler. Can I open you? Okay, let me just open you here. Another one. Kulit. Okay. This is another file. Okay. Now, I will have to remove this. Okay, now, I will add to stream yung Sige, habang kakausapin ko kayo about this now. Some people are really going to make an effort to make you react when they themselves are actually the cause of your reaction. And your reaction will be the cause of your own tawag nito, yung discipline na matatanggap mo sa buong mundo ay commensurate dun sa iyong unruly reaction. Okay? Now,
okay. Ano yung gusto mong i-post? Akin na.
Ako na. Sige, just talk lang para ibuksan ko lang dito.
Ano yung mga ganyang ugali yan? Yung passive-aggressive yan eh. Yung ilang beses ko nang in-explain yan doon sa wall na about what that comment, but they just refuse to see it. I tell them, hanapin nyo nga ang pangalan ni Maharlika dyan sa post ko kung meron. At kung wala kayong mahanap din, why are you talking to me about Maharlika?
Okay.
What pushes you to talk about her to me?
Okay. Why?
Diba?
Why? Because they want you to talk about her. Because that is the intention. Okay, that is the intention. Let me just tell you why. That is the intention. To force you, to force me, to force Trixie, to engage her.
Talk about her para sumikat siya.
No, not para sumikat. Not para sumikat. But to force her, to force us to make an error.
Tapos tayo yung masususpend and all that stuff.
Yes.
Para sa ubo.
Force everyone else na magre-react to commit an error.
Maria Ligaya, iniinom kong gamot ay para sa sa parang biogesic.
Yun.
Ano ba yan? Yung para sa katawan, alaksan.
Antitussive.
Okay. Hindi, wala naman akong ubo. Hika lang tong sa akin dahil sa aircon na nasa harap ko. Pero yung sakit ko, because of the booster shot, is like flu. So, kailangan ko ng biogesic and alaksan for the body pain.
So this should be very clear. Now, is it clear in your screens? I just wanna react.
Yeah, it's clear. It's
No, no.
clear. Yeah.
How about you? You can reach Adrian. Good evening. I like this
Sinong
Adrian.
Adrian? Sinong
Adrian, no.
Adrian yan? The kid
Adrian
one?
Nord.
The kid?
This one, the kid. What is
Yes,
the
yes.
quote by Brad Thor?
What is that
Freedom
quote by
of
Brad Thor?
speech.
The freedom of speech includes the right to offend. Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
It is the right to insult.
yeah.
It goes with that.
Yes, that's true. In fact, okay, the only limit to your freedom of speech is what is prohibited by law, and that is in
Yeah,
your
libel,
rules of libel.
slander.
Mm.
Yeah,
And the
scurrilous
rules of
libels.
okay, libel is actually just the prohibited speech in general is what imputation of
Malice or
uh,
crime or a defect. Mga ganyan.
vice.
Crime,
So
defect.
crime, vice, or defect. So as long as you are not saying any of those things, like you're accusing him of being magnanakaw. Ayun,
Mm.
crime yun. You're accusing him of being a crime. If that is not true, patay ka.
Yeah, but
Di ba?
there you go. There you go. These people are uh, talking about being libeled or being their rights being violated by the government, and yet they call the president magnanakaw.
Mm. And then now,
En masse, di
okay,
ba? Maramihan sila.
okay, you register yourself as do you see that kind of corporation they are? Huh? Here?
Yeah, it's
In the
there.
middle? Okay. You register yourself as what? Stockbroker?
Requiring
Huh? What?
yung
What?
nasa
Huh?
taas.
Dito. We certify. Rappler Inc. This is Rappler Inc. Oh. And where did we get this? Okay, we got this from the website of Pointer. And this is their accreditation to become the
Document.
fact checker of
Mm.
Facebook. Okay? So this
They
is
submitted this to Pointer.
and okay. And sa lahat ng mga taga-UP po, please, pansinin niyo po ito kasi ang nag-certify po nito na ito ay compliant sa requirement ni Facebook na ang requirement lang ni Facebook is you are a company registered in the country where you are going to be a fact checker. And your registration will indicate there that you are, among your purposes, going to serve as a fact checker. Let's see if there's a fact checker there. Okay, the certificate
Wala, it's not there.
says that you are going to be a licensed, limited to acting
Licensed
as. Okay,
broker.
third line,
Diyan
broker
beginning sa broker or dealer.
or dealer of securities. This is the third line. Government securities eligible dealer. Wow, GSET.
She said.
Okay. Investment advisor of an investment company. Pwede ito kasi may business news sila, no? May business news.
Pwede.
Close end or open end
Open-end.
investment company.
Company.
Pwede rin sila manghula kasi close at saka open. Pwede hula-hula yun, di ba? Yun.
Yes.
Investment house. Ano ba house? Pwede kasi may Congress, House of Representatives, no? May mga
Parang
investment din
parang
dyan.
parang stock exchange, 'di ba? Yan yung investment house.
Yeah, kaya
Yan ba yun?
no. Investment house, no. Si JP Morgan. Yan ang investment house.
JP Morgan.
Oo. But
Yeah.
there's a house, there's an investment, that's Congress. Cover nila yan Congress. Transfer agent.
Pwede.
Transfer, so kaya nilang i-cover yung mga traffic reports. Transfer. And then, may mga agent dyan. NBI, pasok na. Commodity business news to. Financial,
Commodities.
banking, and then
Financial future. So pwede rin manghuhula to dahil future Manghuhula.
Exchange, palitan. Ano ba yung ibinabalita natin may palitan? Yung mga news nila, napapalitan sila with GMA, palit tayo. Ikaw mag-cover doon, ako dito, palit tayo ng news report, okay? Exchange, ano to? Ano yung sunod? Hindi ko mabasa eh.
Broker and merchant.
Yung broker pare, yung gano'n na yan. Ilalabas ko tong balita na to, hindi. Yan,
Broker yung ganyan.
Broker yung ganyan.
Yung merchant, yung binibenta talaga yung sarili na, highest bidder, kung sino nga makapagbigay ng pinakamataas dyan, yun ang hindi ko ibabalita.
Hindi, ano yun siya? Advertising.
Advertising.
Advertising. Kaya sila,
Mercantilism.
kaya sila nag-advertise kasi merchant sila eh. 'Di ba?
Mercantilism.
Kaya sila nag-advertise kasi merchant sila eh. 'Di ba? Merchant. Kaya sila nag-advertise kasi merchant sila eh. Okay? Kaya sila nakakatanggap ng advertising. May financing
Oh,
company. Pwede sila magpautang. Di pwede ka ngayon broadcast
invest.
air now and then pay later. Parang ganun financing company. Pre-need plan. Ngayon, katulad ngayon, pre-need dito eh. Hindi pa nila alam kung sino yung magiging kandidato in anong next
28.
election?
28.
2028. Pero ngayon pa lang, tinatay na nila yung magiging kalaban nun.
Meron
Pre-need.
na insurance ngayon pa lang.
Tayo, pinapatay na tayo. Kasi pre-need dito eh, sa susunod na kandidato sa 2028.
Pagdating ng 2028, kung sinong nakinabang dyan, bayad muna.
Kasi pinatay na namin yan Luminous, wala na yan sila sa sirkulasyon, wala na yung mga DDS dyan, malinis na. We are now under a supplier-driven information market.
Supplier-driven. Nandyan na naman yung style na yan. Yung salita na yan. Mamaya ipapaliwanag mo sa amin yan, ha?
A general agent. General na agent pa. Si Johnny agent yun eh, pero wala silang general doon. Si Wikoko dati sa NBI. General
Wikoko, general siya. Tama.
Tapos naging NBI director. Agent
director.
Yan siguro ibig sabihin nito. General agent in pre-need plan pa rin. Grabe talaga itong pre-need pare. Kailangan talaga nilang pangunahan yung susunod na eleksyon.
Para ba yung CAP, yung College Assurance Plan? Pre-need ba yun?
Pre-need. Hindi, kasama dyan sa pre-need yung health. Kasama ata dyan eh. Yung mga HMO.
College.
Or
yung
something
college
like
hindi kasama yan doon.
Finance mo na lang yun. Financing company. And then, shorts? Shorts? Is that shorts?
Short term?
Shares or membership in certificates of issue or selling agents thereof. Of what? Timeshare. Pre-need plan, general agent, timeshare. Ano mo yung timeshare?
Club shares.
Ano mo yung timeshare, no?
Ano yung timeshare? Ano yun?
Okay, timeshare is like you buy a certain number of stocks which will allow you to share ownership of a certain room in a certain resort.
Okay.
With your ownership, you own that for, let's say, for example, 5 days in the entire year. So you own 5 days of a room in the entire year. If you do not use that 5 days and the hotel was able to sell it, then they will have a remuneration for you. But if you want to go to the hotel and use it, then they can assign you in any room, use up your 5 days. So many rooms are being sold. Yan yung timeshare. It's just like
I understand.
Just like yung advertising din, timeshare din yun. Airtime ngayon tawag natin dyan,
meron ding 'di ba yung parang pre-selling ng tapos pagkatapos na ikaw may-ari nun, pwede mong gamitin yan siya in how many days of the year yung mga condo, and the rest of the year they rent it out to someone.
Yes, like that. Pero you own the whole condo. Condo.
Yes.
Pero let's say for example, ikaw,
Mm.
ako, si Boots, si Serena, mag-usap tayo. Hati-hati natin yung isang buong taon. Di ba?
Maganda siya.
Siya. Kunwari, kasama natin, may-ari tayo ng kondo. Yan. Ito rin, si Mary. Si
Maganda.
Gaya. Yan, kasama
Maganda.
natin. May-ari tayo ng kondo lahat. Yan, si pare. Tapos ito si Leng. Pwede natin hati-hatiin. Okay. Na, imbis na, ikaw lang yung may-ari doon, sosyo tayo.
Tayong lahat.
Timeshare. Pero, para magamit mo to sa media, ganito yan. Ang radyo kasi, pag nagbenta ka ng advertising, airtime.
Block.
Airtime. Airtime. Based on
Airtime.
Okay, the amount of time and the airspace that it consumes.
And the time that it comes out. Time of the day.
Length of time. And then
pero time of the day, kung halimbawa tanghali, prime time yan, mas mahal din yun.
Because of the kumbaga, reach naman siya, yung hits.
Yes.
But yung air mo dyan is yung power. No? Power ng station. And then the time. Okay. Yan yung airtime. Pero yung kanila dito is lalabas ka dyan for 5 seconds, isi-share ka. Pag share, sabay yun eh. Kaya time share. Kasi kung ilang beses na share, dadami yun.
Maganda tong analysis mo, brother, ha? Okay to.
Kaya advertising talaga to, pare. Media talaga to eh. Hindi to stockbroker eh. Media talaga to.
Marketing to,
Kaya sa
marketing.
time share. Kasi kung maraming beses siya i-share, just like airtime, di ba? Yung air is based on your output power, 5 kilowatts, 10 kilowatts, o yung ina-apply natin, di ba sa NTC? Oh, speaks yun. Ito kung marami mag-share kasi yung masyadong juicy yung balita, maraming nag-share. Yung time times the number of shares, bayad ka.
Yun.
Yung time share. Oh, yan yung advertising.
Pero
Ano
tayo,
yun?
nababayaran ba tayo dito? Halimbawa, kung
Hindi.
sa kaka-share ng ating mga followers itong video natin ay kumikita Facebook, wala tayong share kasi ni-restrict tayo eh.
Kaya stars. At saka yung mga hindi magpapadala ng stars, maglalagay ako dito ng Gcash.
Okay lang. Mahal ka pa rin namin.
Maglalagay ako ng Gcash? Payag ka?
Alam mo ba na hindi ako eligible sa Gcash for some reason?
Dahil hindi ka eligible, ako maglalagay. Si Xiao Xiao Chua. Nung
Ano Xiao Xiao Chua? Sino yan?
Si Xiao Xiao Yumol pala. Laging
Yumol. Yung nag-away kayo noon. Yung inaway ka niya.
Ako ang nangaway sa kanya. Actually, ako ang nangaway.
Ikaw ba?
Pero dahil inaway ko siya, binanatan ako ng mga fans niya. Just like Maharlika.
Kay Orion.
No. Si Maharlika daw, binanatan daw kasi ng mga fans ng Luminous.
Bakit siya babanatan? Paano siya babanatan? Hindi nga minention pangalan niya.
Kaya nga. But okay, that is actually what happened to me. Binira ako ng mga fans ni Xiao Xiao Chua. Natuwa naman ako. Binira ko rin siya ng binira. Pero na-realize ko nung kakilala mo pala, so tinanong ko, ano ba taon to? Sabi, hindi, mabait siya yung tirahin yan. Tapos napansin ko, hindi siya mismo.
Hindi siya pumapalag. Hindi siya.
And then napapansin ko, ay siya mga troll to. 3 araw na.
Umitira pa rin, walang tulog-tulog.
Isang tao.
Maraming pangalan.
No, the same name. With entries every hour, attacking everyone, answering everyone in every chat. Oh my God. So, nung na-establish ko, troll to. Okay, so, naghintay lang ako. And then later on, he messaged me. Sinabi niya na okay. And then when he messaged me, I posted everything. Nagpaalam mo siya, I post this, and then I post my reply. And that fixed the whole thing. Di ba?
Yeah, but he's a reasonable guy. Si Chow.
Yeah, but why is he included here? Because in almost all of his posts, meron doon Gcash number.
Nakikiramay ako kay Chow Chow. I am sorry about your father.
Maglalagay ako ng Gcash number dito. Just for fun. Maglalagay ako ng Gcash number. Totoong Gcash number.
Alam mo ba, na kahit na ilagay ko yung Gcash number ko, ay hindi ako makakatanggap dahil I am...
Dahil hindi ka makakatanggap, ako na lang maglalagay ng Gcash number.
Sa'yo na lang.
Ano to? Social experiment. Tingnan natin kung magkano yung ma-raise natin. Nico, anak ko.
I-co-op mo pa yung anak mo ha. Inaanak ko yan ha. Inaanak ko. I-co-op mo pa.
Tatakbuhin ko to ha. Wag niyo itong tawagan ha. Wag niyo itong tawagan ha. Add banner. Wala ko ilalagay na Gcash dyan. Pero ilalagay ko lang yun sa show.
Banner.
Ba't hindi siya tumatakbo? Dapat tumatakbo siya, no?
Hindi, doon mo siya ilagay sa, tapos merong cascade or something like marquee.
Okay.
Let me do that.
Okay. Makikita mo yan. So anyway, nasaan na tayo?
Ayun, scroll across the bottom ticker.
Ano ito? Sabi niya, membership certificate issues or selling agents thereof. Neither does this certificate constitute permit to undertake activities for which other government agencies require a license or permit. But do you need a license or permit to become a media person in the Philippines?
No, because the Constitution says no law shall be passed, blah, 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 blah.
Okay, is that clear, our friends? Can they continue doing their media work with this kind of whatever permit
Now, okay,
license?
let's clarify.
Yes, yes. Then I
Let's
wanna know.
clarify.
Oh, sige, ikaw muna.
Being a journalist, okay, a person being a journalist who is a person exercising his rights to freedom of publication, freedom of speech and
Does
expression
not need to
does
register.
not need any permit or license or whatever. Okay,
Mm.
but running a company that is
That receives.
involved in mass media or making news
Mm.
and along with it accept contracts for marketing and advertising and blah 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 and the promotion of actors and singers and all that, it is regulated, but that is not
Yun yung,
journalism.
yeah, yun yung our Republic Act, no, Presidential Decree 10 something, di ba? Yung diniscuss natin dito, galing kay
Yeah.
Marcos, no?
Mm,
Na yung broadcast must be, no, actually that did not even make any restriction on the registration, but just the ownership, right? Dapat 100%
yes.
Filipino. Oo.
Mhm.
They do not even, there is no law
Kasi
in the
you
Philippines
can
that
be
requires
a sole proprietor. You don't
ito.
have
Si
to be a
next, ito
corporation.
to. Ayan, yan, yan,
Si
yan, 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 yan.
Ay,
Ito,
teka
ito
muna,
ba?
naban ko na yan siya.
Kaya nga, ang tanong ko, ikaw yung nagbaban sa kanya. Ikaw ba yung
Ah,
tagaban?
hindi, ikaw rin, pwede ka
Ah,
rin mag-ban.
no, kasi I was thinking, so how does this person get
Yan,
banned
put
and then
user
come back?
on timeout or block user. Yan,
Okay. Paano yan?
mawala
Hindi
siya.
ko na ma-hide.
Hindi, okay lang yan.
Hindi.
Ano
Hindi,
to?
nagluloko na tayo dito. Nagluloko na. Kumusta Sir Ed? Kumusta Maria Ligaya? Sige, Sir JP, mahirap kaya magbigay ng start. Oo, yan lang, meron magbibigay lahat. Tingnan natin. Yay!
Sa Gcash mo?
Hindi yan. Akin yan, akin yan. Yes! Hindi. Okay, wait lang. Ganito yan.
Wait. Magbigay kayo ng stars by joining this stream from the
Mm.
page of Isang Dangkal.
And then there
You
you
click
can
this
the star.
stream from Isang Dangkal's page.
Di ba meron din dun sa Dun sa Luminous? Pwede rin.
Oo, pero mapupunta doon yung stars.
Pero bibigyan mo na lang sa akin, di ba?
Bawal nga, hindi ko nga makukuha yan dahil sa wala akong Gcash. Doon sila dumaan sa'yo.
anyway, hindi namin yan concern sa ngayon. No, ang concern natin with this,
Nagbibiro
with
lang
this,
kami. Nagbibiro
okay,
lang
with
kami.
this SEC, registration of Rappler. And then, okay, pag tinanggal ba itong SEC na to na registration ng Rappler, is this tantamount to removing their right to free speech or the freedom of the press? Hindi pa rin.
No! Of course
You
not.
know, the only thing that will result from the removal of this one is their authority to act as a person called Rappler, and that act includes one, receiving advertisements,
Yeah.
di ba? Two, bearing their IDs issued by Rappler.
Mm.
Okay? But as far as their individual reporters, ewan ko kung yung kanilang kakontrata sa opisina, hindi sila paalisin dun because it's still in the name of Rappler, which no longer has a corporate existence, but they can always renew that.
Malay mo, binili nila yon. They
Yeah.
actually own that. Okay lang
Okay.
naman eh. They can own
Yeah. So anything that runs under the name Rappler will no longer have a juridical personality, but still meron pa rin yung batas on winding down, di ba? And it's going to be a long process and it
Yes.
still can
Long
exist.
process.
Okay.
Yes.
Now,
Residual existence.
what is the cause of the whole world's repulsion on the Philippine government's
The lies.
okay? The Philippine government did not remove its right to
Free speech, press
speech.
or
just
expression.
her right to become a stockbroker. Because this is
Yes.
this is all it is. It's her right to become a stockbroker and sell her stocks to whoever that they can sell pre-need plans and timeshare.
Oh,
So taking this away will not remove Maria Ressa's
Maria Ressa can still exercise freedom of the press, freedom of
freedom of the press.
expression,
And yet,
speech.
how do they describe the Philippines? Ladies and gentlemen, this is us. Okay? Mamaya siguro lalabas yan. O hindi.
Hindi
Ba't
na
hindi
na
nga
dito.
lumalabas? Ano ba yan? Ba't hindi lumalabas? Okay, papalit ako. Wait.
Yan.
Dalawa na naman ba to? Okay. Yan. Gulo talaga nito, Barikoy.
Anong papalitan mo? Sige.
Hindi. Palitan ko lang ng yung assessment nila ng Pilipinas.
Okay.
Ano yung sabi nila kanina? Ano daw tayo? Ano daw tayo ano? Yan. Ay, naku, ang baba ng ating score dahil dyan.
Kasi nungalingan talaga eh. Classic.
Yes, that is the reason why our score in the ranking is very, very low. -14.
Yes, but okay.
But hindi lang naman tayo, pati itong mga to. Yan, Southeast Asia. Because this is what they say, in Indonesia, internet freedom is teetering
on a razor's edge.
In Hong Kong, okay, this Hong Kong naman talaga may problema din talaga to. No?
Dahil ang China ang pumasok dyan.
Kinukulong nila yung mga okay.
Mga leaders.
Pero yung ikulong ka naman dito sa Pilipinas dahil ng
dahil ng libel ka ng tao.
Libel ka.
Oo.
Di ba, what is your function? Sabi mo, your function, they say, is to
broker and sell pre-need plans.
Hindi yan. Okay. So this is what's happening daw in Southeast Asia. Alright, now, balik ba tayo dun sa hate speech? May oras pa tayo konti, no?
Konti na lang.
Aha. Ba't kayo may mga dyan? Mga star pa kayo dyan. Okay. Are you enjoying this presentation, my friends? No? How we are being ito, no? So, what free speech standards should social media companies respect? One, abay ma. Ito talaga yung sinasabing abay ma at pa. Di ba? Given that social media companies are effectively services provided by private companies, and they be required to comply with international standards of freedom and expression?
Yes, diba? Ang sagot ko dyan, yes. Bakit? Because these international law approved or sanctioned freedoms of people are not only existing in states and in nations and in customs of people as a legal provision. It is also a social provision. It is a cultural mores. Kahit sa community of religious people, ganun din naman ang sinasabi. You have to respect the opinion of your brothers and sisters in your church. So ibig sabihin, there is no limitation of the compulsion to respect the freedoms of speech, expression, and publication to only the government or to the state, but also to other entities, especially when these entities are so big and so strong and so influential that people will actually be made to be silenced because of their policies. So, kailangan pa rin nilang sumunod dyan kahit na hindi sila state actors.
Correct. Because we are supposed to follow it too. Di ba? Ngayon sinasabi ko, di ba? Good evening, Rene Brago. Okay. Watching from Riyadh. Okay. May freedom of speech ba kayo dyan sa Riyadh? Alam ko. Meron. Okay. Ngayon, okay, sabi ni Pinay Paparazzi, no? Wala na nga silang SEC registration. So, wouldn't their status as fact checkers with the country be null and void? Okay, the reason why I put that up, because the requirement of pointer, which galing yung estudyante natin, Attorney Ahmed, the first requirement is kailangan you are registered in
as a fact checker.
As a fact checker. And none of those things said fact checker. Because walang requirement for our companies who are involved in media as a media company to register as such. However, if you want to do business, that will require you to and then if you want to engage in a contract with the COMELEC, for example, as the fact checker of COMELEC, then you will do the registration. Or you want to, alam mo yun?
The problem here in this country is that there is no requirement, a specific requirement for to register as a fact checker. Because being a fact checker is actually the activity that anybody can do.
Yeah, but there's
So there is no law
provision.
that says if you are want to be a fact checker, you have to register, because fact checker is also a function of journalism.
Yeah, but Facebook made it a requirement.
Yes.
For you to be made for you to be accredited as a fact checker, you must be registered in your country
as a fact checker.
As a fact checker. Hindi nga as a primarily as a fact checker.
As a fact checker. So how do we understand that? Because there is no requirement in this country for a job called fact checker to be registered. But if
there's no provision also.
If you registered with the SEC and saying there that your primary objective is to be a fact checker, even if it's not required, pwede siguro. Di ba? Oy, palakpak sa Gcash. Mabuhay.
Huwag na natin
buhay.
Tama. But okay, tama. Hindi ka pwedeng i-compel, but kung gusto mong magtrabaho as a fact checker for Facebook, which is your agreement, no?
So and then you write it in your SEC registration, hindi ka naman din titigilin.
And probably the SEC will ask you, you get a secondary recommendation from the Supreme Court because it seems like you're acting like a court.
Oh, exactly. So, we'll see, di ba? Good luck sa kanila.
Good luck
sa kanila. Yun nga sinasabi ko, when it comes to that, we need no laws anymore. You just need the courts to interpret these things.
Correct. But, okay, those are private requirements of Facebook. Okay? Which, inconceivably was certified by a professor from the University of the Philippines as compliant. Prof. Wala naman ding oath ng professor no na kailangan niyang maging true.
Wala rin.
Wala rin ng professor's oath that they will not lie. Wala rin. Walang requirement.
Wala rin.
Magsabi ng katotohanan. So when a professor makes a certification that they are compliant, can actually mean that you are not compliant because I'm a professor. I'm not required to say the truth because I have academic freedom. I have academic freedom. Yun ang kagandahan ng batas. When you know how to navigate yourself in the wild west of the law. I'm a professor. I can say that you failed or you passed. Whatever I like.
Without having to register.
Without having to register anything. All right, nice, no? That's the quasi-public nature of some of these online spaces called for a different type of regulation.
Exactly. Quasi-public na siya. Para na siyang gobyerno na rin eh. Quasi-public na siya dahil para na siyang gobyerno.
Yun. Ito yung mga questions dyan eh. Di ba? Now, ito yung dilemma daw. Focus on basic international standards of free speech. Okay. Now, we will not go into the nitty-gritty details because I think we have covered the most juicy ones. Pero balikan lang natin to yung kasamahan ni free speech, pare ko. Yung mga
press.
yung mga specific na violations na contentious.
Right.
Yung kasi natigil din sa free speech kagad eh. Meron pa ditong hate eh, yung mga
yung isa pa, hindi yan.
Kaya nga hindi ko mahanap kasi ang lilit dito, hindi ko
siya. Yung on the side
yung
of something. Ay, ito yata, sa baba nito. Yan, yung nakasulat na ngayon dyan, sa baba. Scroll down. Dyan sa nakapost na yon, scroll down mo. Yan, scroll down mo. Yan.
Wala. Hindi.
Baba.
Anyway. I'll open it na direktahin kong open ha. I'll just remove this. So you discuss muna yung di ba? Yung
wala na
essence ng yung essence ng
of a woman.
Pagta-transfer ng Gcash. Pagta-transfer ng
Sabi ko na nga ba eh.
Pagta-transfer ng responsibility, diba? Pagta-transfer ng responsibility from a state responsibility to private
Okay.
persons. Ano yung involved
Okay.
dyan? Ah,
Ito ganito. Yung state, especially, the state, the government, through the government, exercises sovereignty over the territory called the Philippines. And sovereignty means the power, two things. First, the sovereignty is the power of control and ownership of the actual territory, yung lupa na territory natin. Sovereignty over that is your actual ownership of that bodily piece of real estate. The other meaning of sovereignty is the power to govern. Okay? To power to govern, that is understood under the social contract theory na it used to be that everyone is the sovereign, as a group is the sovereign. But when everyone surrendered parts of their freedoms to the group we call the government, then they are now exercising sovereignty in lieu of us. Okay? In our absence, instead of us, pinayagan natin sila ang mag-exercise sovereignty. Yan yung tinutukoy ko. Ngayon, these things, the power to exercise sovereignty as a government cannot be delegated to a public person. Okay, there are things that can be contracted out by the government, but those functions are not government functions. Those are patrimonial functions because the state also owns things like it owns the piece of land in its own territory. So when it sells that piece of land to another company or another person, ganyan, that is the patrimonial function, meaning the function of the government as owner of its territory. Pero when it comes to the sovereignty function, which means a function that has to do with the power to govern the citizens in terms of making laws, punishing violators and all that, it cannot be delegated to private companies or persons.
Correct. Yan din yung understanding ko eh. Hindi to pwedeng i-delegate eh. And the delegation, if ever gagawin, it can only be delegated to public servants, no? Designated by law. Or pwedeng individuals pero designated by law because of their capacity.
And they are and they will be brought into the ambit of being part of the government which exercises sovereignty.
Yeah, di ba yung katulad ng mga CHDF dati, no? Yung Civilian Home Defense, yung reserve forces.
Deputized kasi sila.
Yung mga ganon. That is when there are formalities required para ang mga certain functions ng gobyerno, hindi niya pwedeng kontrata to. Di ba?
You can't contract away political power.
Correct. Hindi to katulad ng magpapagawa siya ng daan na pwede niya ipagawa sa DWH. Pwede niya ipakontrata sa Sumitomo, di ba?
Yan. Kasi patrimonial function yan siya.
Correct. Yun. So, ito daw, ito na yung ginagawa ng, nakakontrata to ngayon kay Maria Ressa. Okay.
At saka Vera Files.
So, privacy and morality-based restrictions. Yan. Paano yan? Privacy. Di ba? And yung morality. Napapastos ako sa'yo. Hala.
Kaya nga, yung mga entitled na, pag nagmumura ka, masama ka ng tao and therefore you are hateful and not allowed on Facebook.
And then, yung mga religious na mga sensibilities, no? Na hindi mo alam, natatamaan mo, and then parereklamo ka. So, kumbaga, kung sa batas yan, titingnan yung intent, titingnan yung damage, titingnan yung extent ng damage yung ginawang act, di ba? But these rules that they have, apparently just say, pag nagawa mo yan, o nasabi mo to, regardless of intent, regardless of damage, out ka na.
Tapos dito sa other restrictions, okay? I have an issue with the real name policies kasi in real life, press people are allowed to use pseudonyms.
Yes.
They are
True
even
name.
allowed to keep secret their sources and call them by their pseudonyms.
Yes.
Dito hindi pwede.
No, pwede. Actually, pwede. Kaya ang yung aking isang dangkal, it works because I am registered with my real name with them. With my
Exactly.
ID. Di ba? My ID, they
Yes.
know it. They know I'm
Hmm.
a real person. So I just use their isang dangkal. So if ever I
Hmm.
commit a crime, they know how to find me. They
Oh,
can
well,
call when they're yeah.
I always use my name because when I had my account, they
Oops.
unpublished it because of Ryan Perez. So now I don't have any name anymore. But I am part of Luminous, and my name is there as
Ito,
one of
papa-Gcash ko
the
to.
what is that? What
Ha?
is that creature? Is that a
My
joke?
2-day old or 3-day old.
Joke.
Ayun lang ba ito? Oh, yeah.
Anong aso
Gcash.
yan, brother? Anong
Teka.
aso yan?
Galit yung nanay. Nagalit. Nagalit ang nanay kasi kinuha ko yung anak niya.
Hmm.
Okay, yun ay anak ng Shih Tzu na nabuntis ng Jack Russell.
So, jack shit yan.
Shit Russell.
Shit Russell. Okay.
Okay. So yung real name policy, okay, this is I think an essential part of at least in that level ako okay na ako diyan eh. 'Di ba?
Alin doon? Real
Ito
name?
real.
Oh, ako naman.
Wala, ba't nawala ka? Ha, nawala ka naman bigla.
You made pindot.
I mean, sorry.
Oo.
So yung sabi mo, ako naman, okay sa'yo, hindi? Yung real name.
Ako okay sa akin kasi okay din yan pero hindi ko kasalanan kung bakit hindi ko ginagamit pangalan ko because they unpublished it after Orion's group reported my account because I said their theory on 100% ownership on certain things was completely wrong.
Uh, and then dito kasi yung ginagamit ng mga trolls.
Mm.
Okay, people signing up with falsified names usually become trolls. Wow, thank you, butter cheese.
Butter
Yes.
cheese. Hello, thank you. Ang ganda niya.
Yan.
Why?
Okay, now,
Sheesh.
how about the identification policy? Okay, yung identification policy is you do not just put your real name, but as you go higher and higher into their monetization and whatever levels ng kanilang hindi lang kasi yan about monetization eh. Sometimes you really have to activate it like me. I have to activate that subscription thing so that I can get to the next level of
Of monetization,
no,
Gcash.
not monetization, yung isa. I want to get to that yung article writing
Yung
na
tier,
mabilis na
that's
hindi
right.
ko pa
Yeah.
na-activate and I think you need to progress.
Yeah, that's right.
And as
That's
you
right.
progress, you will
Totoo
be
yan.
identified more and more parang lang bangko, KYC.
I think that these identification policies is needed because you have to enter into contracts not only with Facebook but other entities that use Facebook as an interconnect. Okay,
Yes.
so you will eventually, for example, right now we have a contract with StreamYard
Hmm.
and with Facebook because we are also broadcasting to Facebook while we are
Hmm.
doing this live.
Yeah.
So, kaya kailangan mo yan ng identity dyan. And I understand that. That's fine.
This is reasonable. Pero ang unreasonable dyan na aspect is yung from that identification, you will be monitored with your other activities. And then,
Data
okay.
privacy
Yung,
yan. Good luck sa inyo. Makukulong kayo.
hindi. Mantindi niyan, pare. Mantindi niyan.
I
Okay.
know. I understand. I know that they are actually doing that. Recently, the Supreme Court of our country said that Facebook can actually use the things that you say on your messenger inbox against you. How does that happen? That is a privileged, supposedly privileged
No one
communication.
can be made a witness against himself, di ba? Meron tayong
Not
ganyan na
only
rule.
that, Facebook is a third party in a conversation between you and your friend or your wife or your kabit or whatever sa messenger. He is just the owner of the platform in which Messenger runs as an app. Diba? Now, ano karapatan niyang tumingin sa mga messages dyan?
By court order. Because it's there. Discovery. Pero, ito yung magandang tanong. Paano kung na-picturean ka na may kasama kang iba tapos na-post sa Facebook? Kasi nandun lang kayo sa background, nakita ng asawa mo.
Inaway ka. What is the problem there?
Are we supposed to blur
You
everyone in
deserve
our
it.
background? No. Kunwari ako, may tao dun sa background ko. Kunwari, ikaw, meron kang 400,000 followers.
400,000 followers.
Kunwari tayong dalawa, nandun tayo sa SM.
That's not fine. Pero sige, kunyari lang.
Nag-picture tayong dalawa sa SM. Tapos dumaan dun sa likod si Pinay Paparazzi. At saka ito, si Lorraine. Kunwari, si Lorraine dumaan sa likod. No? Hindi natin alam.
Hindi natin alam.
Tayo. And then si Lorraine may kasamang boylet. Yung asawa niya,
kunyari lang may asawa siya.
Kunwari lang. Ay, panuwad natin. Nakita ko si Ahmed, nandun siya, kasama si, asawa ko yung nasa likod. Sino kasama nun? Pasok ba yun dito? Sa privacy. Are we supposed to be blurring people in our backgrounds?
I don't think so, but
on Facebook, when you post anything on Facebook.
I don't think so, but I think that
is it our responsibility? People get into
we should. I think that we should.
Di ba? Yan yung naisip ko
dyan. And failure to do so is really going to send you to hell forever. Yeah, I like
think that will become your responsibility, di ba? Kung kunwari tayong dalawa, pinost natin, and then nagkaroon ng away, tapos ito, nabugbog. Di ba? Nabugbog ng asawa.
Tayo yung sinisi ngayon, cascading liability.
Cascading liability. And dahil pinablish nyo, nabugbog yung isang tao.
Tuloy. Kaaway.
Ano dapat ang ginawa nyo? Dapat
blur out nyo
yung background nyo. Kasi may ibang tao din nyo kasama yun.
That's right. Walang consent yun eh. Walang consent. They did not consent to the publication of their face.
Paano kung ang nangyari hindi pala na talaga boyfriend yun? Di ba? Yung pala
friends lang.
Hindi.
Nakasabay lang sila maglakad.
Or kanegosyo niya, di ba? Di ba?
Paano ko? Bakit hawak-hawak niya yung buton ng asawa ko?
Yun. Di ba? Pero, not intended, but pwede kang magkaroon ng liability dyan.
Totoo yan, diba? Totoo. Marami nang nangyayaring ganyan.
On privacy of other persons. Yung mga plate number ng mga sasakyan na napapasama
sa yung mga picture. Yung mga nag-leave from work, tapos sabi may sakit, and then na-post ng ibang tao, Boracay picture, nandun siya, finire siya ng kanilang company. What the hell? Kanasuhan niya ngayon yung nag-post nun. Hindi natin alam anong nangyari doon.
Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? The four waiters na papasok yan.
The four waiters.
Does it bring goodwill of
four waiters?
Di ba?
Does it furnish Gcash? Ganyan.
So, sana kayo. Do you have any questions? Walang model release. Anong tawag doon? Walang model release. Cascading liability ang tawag dyan, no? Dito sa Dubai, dito sa Dubai, you are not allowed to post picture with random people. You see? Dapat naka-blur. Yan.
Tama yun.
Correct. That is what we are, Kaya, wala tayo nandito sa Pilipinas. We are so incensed by comments. We are so incensed by name calling. But we do not care about the more important
other
ones
people.
like that. Yung ano ba itong away ni TP? What is this? Basuras?
I don't know. Yun nga yung point eh. TP is my friend. At saka, tas nag-aaway daw silang dalawa nito. Inaaway daw siya nitong isa. I don't know. Hindi ako nakikialam dahil hindi ko kakilala yung babaeng yan.
But diba? If you wanna have fun, just come here and then listen to us. Wala kami ditong inaaway. Tapos ito naman si Free Guy, si okay? Yan ang gusto, Yan ang gusto namin. No one is above the, di ba? Stricto pag-implement sa batas para walang mga abuso. Yun. Precisely.
That's right.
Fairness lang, no? Fairness. And then, kung ito lang yung pinag-uusapan, nasa ng politika dyan, Abel? You see? Facebook itself has a statement about that. That politics and political discourse is something we do not want to engage ourselves in. But that is exactly how they are excluding all of us. All of us.
On the
Actually,
basis of political utterances and posts.
ang
And
ganda nung sinabi mo sa akin yung compartmentalization na nangyayari. Di ba? Yung ginagawa
ganun
nila
nga
with the
ginagawa.
algorithm. Explain mo sa kanila para, alam mo yun, magkaroon sila ng idea what's going on really.
Yeah, I think they already know this because
No, there are
Attorney
new
Trixie
people
already
eh.
explained this.
But,
Yung mga nanonood no, ng Luminous Live, they already understand this. Okay, what happens on Facebook? On Facebook kasi, before Facebook, there was only just the internet. The internet allowed everyone to publish himself. Okay? Kung meron ka ng website or just a page. And for example, ano nga ba yung mga
mga
blog dati?
si Wix, si GoDaddy, si gano'n.
Mga
Di ba?
ganyan.
Yung mga,
If you
mga
have a
slash
page
ka lang ba?
there, oh, you can already be a journalist because you are self-publishing. Okay? So, and because of that, everyone is a journalist, but not necessarily a partisan journalist. You are just expressing yourself. Pagdating kasi dito sa social media, nagkakaroon ng pagkakataon na nagkakasama-sama yung mga pare-pareho ng pag-iisip. So yung kapare-pareho nating mag-iisip, sabihin nating DDS, sama-sama tayo because Facebook recommends other DDS to you. Okay? Recommends on your wall, on your wall. Other DDS that are a friend of this one DDS that is your friend. So friends of friends, ganyan. Hindi kasi yan ang nangyayari sa Facebook sa internet dati kung meron ka lang page with a blog site. Hindi yan nangyari, wala silang nire-recommend sa'yo on whatever. Okay? So, there is no polarization. Dito sa social media, polarization is almost always going to happen from the very beginning you enter it. Kasi pagpasok mo, magsasuggest ka agad siya ng mga tao na kapareho-pareho mo ng profile. Like if you are coming from UP Diliman, then all of the UP Diliman people that is connected to one friend of yours will be recommended to you. And similarly, lahat ng mga DDS and Uniteam people will be put in one place and called Uniteam or DDS or supporters of Marcos and whatever that may be. So immediately you are already put in a classification and put in a room where you hear each other. All of the DDS just hear each other and not notice that as each day passes by, they are getting farther and farther away from other people who have different beliefs from them. Kasi napupuno ka na napupuno ng recommendations that are very, very similar to yours. Na kayo na lang talaga ang nagsasama-sama dyan. At kayo na lang nag-uusap. Nobody else hears you. The yellows do not hear you. We do not hear the yellows. And we do not hear Indonesia and Malaysia and all that. Because Malaysian people are not even being recommended to us. But before this happened, I had Indian friends, I had American friends, Italian friends, because we were playing these games no ng mga mafia ganito ganyan, which was fun. But I had international friends. Now they're all gone. They can't see me. I can't see them. So nagiging echo chambers tayo ng pare-parehong sinasabi. Yan ang nangyayari dito sa social media. It is really built to polarize people and to categorize them and to confine them in a room that only they and people they think alike with will be hearing each other there. Ganun ang mangyayari sa atin.
Ang tawag dyan, parang divide and conquer.
Exactly.
Yung ano ba yung tawag dyan sa military? Yung ginawa
isolation
nila sa Cuba.
tactic.
Hindi, yung sa Cuba, yung yung pinapasok nila sa Pueblo.
Ano ba yung sinasabi mo? Tierra?
Oo, yung pinapasok nila yung lahat ng citizens and then ilalagay nila
Hamleting, yung in-Hamlet?
Yun, Hamleting, no? Parang ganun nangyari.
No? Hamleting, yeah, that's the tactic.
No. Yeah, so this is a war strategy that is being imposed on us without us knowing that we are in war. We are at war. No? Like like that. Okay? This is quite fair if it is a law that makes it a
Oh, remember
requirement.
that
Di ba?
every time Maria Ressa says there is a war in this country and that the president is a despot and is a killer and all that, syempre yung mga DDS people really wouldn't understand that
Yeah,
because
what are you
these
talking
DDS
about? Di
people
ba?
have been listening to each other say that this guy is good, that he's just doing something that is good for the society. Hindi natin naririnig yung mga nangyayari sa yellows that some of them may actually have suffered some abuses from Duterte's government. Pero hindi na natin naririnig yan. Kasi Facebook has completely and successfully classified us and put us all in one room where we cannot reach other people.
Yan, Jean Paul, that's my name. Okay, I'm not hiding my name. Bakit ba isang dangkal yung nilalagay ko dyan? Kasi when I made the post, sabi ko, I'll make pseudonym, no? Pseudonym ang tawag nun, di ba? That will represent what I will write about. Because I can write about anything. So gawin ko lang parang tema. So what will I write about? Okay, I'll write about freedom. So kalayaan yung dulo niyan. So kami ni Royce dun eh. So yung one yan, isang dambana ng kalayaan yan. Kaya doon na yan ang galing, isang dambana ng kalayaan. So I'm not hiding my identity.
Oh, it's not a
I'm not
pseudonym
hiding my
yung tawag
face.
sa'yo. Yung isang
de guerre.
dangkal is the page name. Page name.
Yeah, it's a nom de guerre.
That's what you call your nom de guerre is one.
No. Yeah, and you can put 1 peso and then just to try and then put another one. Just to be sure.
You can actually open another page and call it something else.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
And identity is very important, no? Because if we want to be responsible for our own actions and hindi natin invite ang kahit anong authority to be looking over our shoulder to be the big brother, we don't want that. Then dapat at least man lang ito. We make our identities known, not to the whole world, not necessary to the whole world. If you're not, especially if you're hiding from your husband, no, Lorraine, loko lang kasi ikaw yung nagamit namin example kanina, no. If you're hiding from someone, then okay, but at least to the platform, you can be identified, tama. And then, pero pagdating naman dito sa taas, I think yung regulation dyan, yun yung diniscuss mo, no? That there are many strategies available. Tama? Yesterday. And I hope they remember that we can go into self-regulation or body regulation. Because at the end of the day, what will keep you here on the platform with audience that will give you money is the content. Okay? Loko lang ha, and we thank you. Okay? It's the content and yung interest, kung gaano ka-interesting yung pinagsasabi. Sino bang gustong manatili ng 2 oras sa mga taong nagmumura ng 2 oras?
Wala naman eh.
Diba?
Well, some of the followers of certain people actually find it a novelty and it's entertaining, but you can't blast like that. It's not sustainable. Puro ka na lang mura dyan. Puro ka galit na galit and all that. Wala eh. Walang mangyayari sa following mo eh.
Yeah, pero nabahaan na pala yung libro ko ng Howard Stern, no? Because Howard Stern, for example, he can talk about obscene things in a very nice voice, and he will be so respectful, and you wouldn't even notice it that he was already talking about his wife's ass. Okay, di ba?
Yes, so, that's right.
Nagubad na pala yung kinukwento niya. Okay, so Howard Stern is a very, very funny, obscene radio host, and if you do not see his face because it's on radio, then it adds more to the, alam mo yun, ini-imagine mo kung
the imagination
sabi niya, di ba? So
sometimes kasi the imagination, when something is left to the imagination, there is even more invitation to ano bang tawag doon?
Titillate yourself. Titillate yourself.
Titillating yung definition ng yung definition ng pornography, ano nga yan? prurient. There is so much more invitation to the more prurient nature of human beings. Diba kung
Oh, yeah.
nai-imagine mo lang siya, hindi mo nakikita.
Oo.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah.
at saka katulad ng drama, yung drama na parang pakinggan mo may nagigera pero actually when it is made, tatlo lang yun, apat lang yung tao na gumagawa niyan, yung mga kabayo, ano lang yan, sound effects lang yan. So,
Mm-hmm.
I've seen this done the old way, lalo na dun sa Baguio na may mga stations ganyan. And it's really very interesting, no? How you can communicate a different message just with sounds.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
actually, you're able to portray an entire war scene with 4 people. Di ba? Kumpleto yan, di patayan, di barilan, di ano. With 4 people. With just sounds. So,
Meron pa
you
nga ano
can,
dati, I remember, late night dito sa Manila when I was in the seminary. It's called Verboten or something like that.
ano, no?
It's a program na parang bastos talaga siya, parang drama na bastos. Na pero isang tao lang yun, lalaki lang yun, and he makes the sounds of the guy,
Mm.
and then he also makes the sounds of the
Oo.
girl having
And,
sex.
and we call that now ASMR.
What is that? What is that?
Oh, di mo alam, no? Research it.
Ano yung ASMR? What is it?
ASMR.
What is that?
ASMR. Something. Research nyo na lang, ASMR. Toxic
I Google ko na lang.
walang
Pero
substance.
ano yung SMH? Ano yung SMH? What does it mean when they say SMH?
I do not know.
What
You
is
may ask this girl.
What
Wala
does
daw
it mean?
substance.
Ayoko na mag-Google eh. Please, forgive me for not Googling it. Ano yung SMH?
So much something I do not know. Geopolitics
Kasi yung
means
IMHO for example is in my humble opinion. I found that out.
pang 18 years old daw.
Shaking my head. What the fuck? Yan lang pala yung meaning niya. Okay. Thank you, Matalista.
Which
Shaking my
head?
head.
Yun ba yung nasa, no? Yung nasa
Shaking
taxi?
my head.
Yung nasa taxi ganon? Yung nasa taxi, yung gaganon-ganon? Yung ano? Okay. Now,
Shaking my head. Right.
do we have a final ano? Wala na ata. Hindi, meron yan actually yung sa regulation which we already discussed, no? Yung iba't ibang methods of regulating content. And you discussed that already properly last time. Yung
What we are trying to
Okay.
discuss here is how these policies like methods of regulation actually appear in reality. How do they look
Yan.
like? Kasi nangyayari na yun ngayon, it's already being tried on us. We just don't recognize it as a kind of regulation or even a violation or a suppression of our rights. So that is
Yes.
why we are trying to point out that these things that are done by Facebook and Rappler and Verifiles, they're actually these regulations that we are talking about.
Those
So
are
that we
regulations.
recognize these things when
Regulations.
we
Regulations that we made clear are actually the powers of government to do, and not you, not me.
not doing.
Not you, not me, not them, but the government. And the court already specified na yung regulation yan must be in accordance with law and only within the limits that was set by the law and nothing more, nothing less. So, going beyond that is actually oppression. Diba? When you do
Illegal.
regulation without any authority, then you are oppressing someone else. Now, in co-regulation or self-regulation, this is a different thing because this involves now your participation, your active participation. Okay, now, kayo, that we have infected with this kind of idea. Okay, these are actually very basic ideas of liberty and freedom.
Yes.
You should now be able to conduct yourselves properly when you encounter a question like what we just saw happen here, di ba? With that Mungo, with that those are just examples, okay? We are here, we are teaching, okay? So
We are also learning. We are
showing.
also learning.
We're teaching and learning, and at the same
Yeah.
time enjoying the topic kasi it would be boring
Yeah.
kung kaming dalawa lang mag-uusap about these things. And not only that,
Yeah.
we know that some of you are also a victim of all of these things. And
Yep.
you may be a victim of this regulation sooner rather than later if this gets more and more intense. So it's better
Yep.
for us to
Which
know this
is
stuff.
which is what it only has or is going to be.
Mhm.
Talagang it can't go anywhere else than there.
And how can we stop anyone with a very bright idea of asking Congress to impose upon or to require Facebook to do more sanctions so that there will be a cleaner and more more safer and alam mo yun,
Pluralist
more
elitist
pluralist
country.
na magkakaroon tayo ng ano dito ng supplier driven information
Driven.
market sa Pilipinas.
Naubusan na naman ang oras, hindi ko na naman natanong yan o bukas uli.
Kayo ba may idea kayo what the supplier driven information market means?
Yeah, what does it mean? What does it mean?
Tuloy-tuloy lang po kayo, sir. Why man? Why man? What do you want? Salamat sa service nyo. Oh yes, yes, okay. Actually, we do radio, we do ano. But we're not just complaining because we're victims. We are not ano. In fact, we could have just stopped this whole thing, di ba? Facebook, ano?
Yes.
No.
Oh,
But we're
but
more concerned
no,
about
this
the
is
kids.
fun.
Huh? We're more
Yes, and
concerned about the
the
kids.
future of our education of our
You,
children and how they will be educated and informed. If we do
uh,
not do this now, they will be in a very difficult situation.
no problem, Ligaya, no problem. No pressure, no pressure. But okay, the point here is that it affects all of us. Okay, it affects all of us in one way or another. Why? When we do not know what would be the right reaction when we see a post that says PTV4, uh, ano, tawag nito, editor, said this. Ilagay nyo sa isip nyo. What if ang nakalagay doon, GMA7 editor said this? Would you react the same way?
Oh, nga.
Di ba?
Yeah, that's a good question. We don't know how to answer that, but
Why
you know,
why would it
ponder in your head.
why would it be so intensely alam mo yun nakakagalit.
Clamoring.
So when ito
Clamoring mga
clamor
tao.
island Trixie ano itong natao mo dito? Paano kung si
No.
ano yun? Kung si Maria Ressa yung nagsabi nun, would you do the same?
Exactly. So double standard.
Oo. So whenever you have a double standard, then there's a problem with that standard. That's not electric fan. No? That's the standard electric
Sabi
fan.
sabi sabi ni komentarista, ang mga anak namin na issue nito, they are probably coming across us on YouTube when they are doing their own foraying into YouTube. And when they see us, and without coercing them to watch us, it's up to them really if they want to listen to us or not.
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
there, and their fathers furnished it for the public.
Yes, and then yung ano,
Yun lang yung importante sa amin doon.
yung mga anak niyo po, aware po ba sila sa mga issue na to? Ah, okay,
Yan yung
I'm
sinagot ko.
surprised sometimes.
Yan yung sinagot ko.
I'm surprised sometimes my daughter who is very small. Ano ba itong camera na to? Ba't merong, ay langaw pala yun. Kaya pala sabi ko, ba't merong itim? May langaw pala dun sa camera. Okay, so
There's a
may
fight.
ano is 5 years old. Gulat ako minsan, nakikinig yan sa akin sa kabila. Yeah, she listens. And you're right, ito information is a very dangerous weapon. Yes, because taught with the wrong information, you will bring that forever with in your entire lifetime. And like information also that is not shared. Okay,
When it is needed to be shared.
Okay, what happened to that information I had about ABS-CBN
Tax.
first tax? You know why I didn't continue sharing it for now? Because apparently our entire media industry has a ban on it. Okay? And yeah, I would just stay there. Okay? So as I said,
Okay.
media can be used to misinform
Uninformed.
Miss is wrong ba or this? Ano bang tama? Kasi si Ressa gusto niya
Misinformation is ano. Disinformation is a
wrong.
malicious thing. This is actually what you intend to do. Ang
Okay.
misinformation could be an accident that you were mistaken about it.
Mistaken information. So may
Yeah.
may konti pang
Yeah.
disinformation is intentional. And if
As
you black
intentionally
out,
deceiving you.
if you
Yeah.
intentionally do not inform, what is that?
Hide.
Keeping secret, hiding information
Lying pa rin yun. Oh, the
secrecy.
intellectual dishonesty pa rin.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Non-transparency.
that is the power of media, no? To inform you of
Yeah.
things or to inform you of half truths, to
Or
and
to
the
inform you
discernment.
of what they want you to know and hide
And
things that
sana,
they don't
okay,
want you to know.
kausap ko kasi si Ito Ninik, napasa ko na sa kanya yung mga
Oy,
sa
oo.
Monday.
Kamusta,
Sa
kamusta?
Monday, we'll go back to that if he's available.
Sasama siya sa atin sa sa
He
tambayan.
has, no.
Awesome.
Sabi ko, dito
Awesome.
na lang, dito. This.
Dito na.
I like this better.
Tama.
Diba? Para wala
Kasi
tayong restriction.
mas mahaba eh.
Hindi lang
Wala.
yun, wala
Mas
tayong
mas mahaba.
Baka madali
Yeah,
tayo
that's right.
Ayan. Kasi meron talagang ban. Meron ban. There's a ban on it. As in,
Certain na,
editorial
you're
ban.
certain about that.
Yes.
Okay, interesting.
There's a gag order.
What is that
Talking
plastic sound?
Piyaya.
Ang sakit sa tenga.
Bongbongs.
Gaya.
So, bongbongs piyaya. Pambansang pagkain.
Ano na?
Okay.
Music.
Anong music ang gusto nyo ngayon? Medyo rock tayo ngayon. Nasaan na yung
Rock tayo.
Rock tayo. Dahil you rock, kayo lahat, thank you lahat sa inyong mga tagapakinig.